This is another episode of the Backstage Sports Podcast. I'm Joe Connor.
I'm letting the king of backstage sports, baby. You know, fantasy sports, the king of it. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah. So we got my brother Lynn Jackson sitting in today for JT, who is dealing with some technical stuff on his side over there where his setup is. So he'll be back with us next week. Thank you, bro, so much for sitting in. Lynn also is the reigning champ of the Backstage, the first annual Backstage Sports Podcast Fantasy Football League. He got his trophy shirt
that's
this week.
right.
It's posted on the gram and all that if y'all want to see it.
I
And
tried to have it on. I tried to have it on, but it was dirty. I ain't know I was gonna be on today. I would
yeah,
have, you know, what I
yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah, yeah. We roped them in last
man.
minute. But y'all could go to the gram and check it out if y'all want to see it. And don't worry, I'll be back to take my crown back next
Come on,
year.
man. Come on, come on,
This
man.
was the year of the pandemic. A lot of aberrations, a lot of weird shit happened. As
I
one
had to
of
let Russ cook, man. I let Russ cook. Russ let.
yeah,
I mean, you know, he a turkey in real life, but I tell you, I rode him straight to the championship, man.
yeah. We gonna get into Russ and some more. But first, let me introduce. We got a very special guest today. This gentleman is one of a kind. He is an entrepreneur. He is a musician. He go back to the Berkeley days. And so I'm very excited to have Kirjuan Freeman on the show today. Welcome to the show. What's up, bro?
Man, my brother, you already know, man. Like Joe, go back. What's it like? '07?
Man,
Man,
yeah,
we've been
yeah,
running.
that was
We
it.
running these Boston streets, guys. And
Yeah,
believe it or not, like on the record, like Joe, believe it or not, was managing us before we even was managing ourselves. It was
yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Like I remember Joe being in the green room talking to music soul child, handling affairs. Like, hey man, my man's needs water, they need fruit,
Yeah, yeah,
handling all of like
yeah,
Joe's the
yeah,
goat, man. So we
yeah,
had a lot
yeah.
of good times, man. That was
Yeah,
good.
we had a lot of good times. Me and Free worked together. He one of the day wonders, in the business world of Berkeley. His crew and my crew kind of became one crew. He is engaged to Tiffany, who was like a sister of mine. She was in the crew. We did a lot of stuff together. So it's one big conglomerate, one big family. So it's special to have you on. So before we get into all the craziness that's happening in the sports world, we want to check in with you. We always, the living life in the apocalypse as we are right now means that your new normal is very different from what it normally was a year ago or 2 years ago or whatever, right? So everybody for a lot of artists and entrepreneurs and people that work in the entertainment industry, it's a lot of things have changed and your new normal is very different. But some people have transitioned into new avenues, right? Like we had our boy Deshaun was on here and he was saying how he has moved into like just strictly producing. He's been doing a lot more production, not like on the drummer side because he's a drummer, but he's gotten more into being behind the board. Me and JT started the podcast. JT got into cars and all this other stuff. I just talked to my boy Mitch. He's gotten deep into investing, and I'm making my way through there. So what is it? What is, if you picked up something new, tell us what that is, and if not, tell us just a little bit about what the new normal is for you.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. I think the thing of it is what's been different in this climate is just a sense of understanding yourself. I
Yeah,
mean, at the end of the day, it's like you wake up every morning and you have an idea of what your day is going to look like and what you're going to do.
right.
But I just don't think anyone could have ever predicted that the world had the capacity to stop,
No,
especially when it comes to music.
no,
Like music is one of the things that we call it the universal language. Everybody
right,
speaks it. Like, and it's like you just never think that it'll come to a point where wait, ain't
right,
nobody talking on music today.
right.
So I mean, just all that, like it just for me, I was able to, I found love in it, and I think
Yeah,
it was not even just the love. I fell in love with who I became, and it
right.
allowed me to find that loved one for me.
Yeah,
And I tell people, the one thing that I push myself daily on, even now, is just even through these trying times, is being able to be truly authentically who you are, just to yourself. Like I think that's because when you're able to live with yourself at the end of the day, you can really overcome anything. I think
period.
if anything that you set your mind to, even as it relates to sports, like anything that you just wake up and tell yourself, I'm the greatest to ever do this.
Yeah,
And that mentality in your world, that's what I do. And I think a lot of times in life, we get ahead of ourselves and try to do things that necessarily we want to do compared to what we need to be doing.
Yeah.
And I think for me, this pandemic was a shift for me to kind of internalize myself, to really regroup, just kind of do like a self-audit of just myself in terms of how I can grow and adapt and change. So
yeah,
that's really been it, honestly.
That's dope. So for me, so obviously me and JT had been talking about starting a podcast before the pandemic hit and everything like that. And then the pandemic hit and we was like, we don't have an excuse now, like not to do this. Did you start any, so that was the new thing that I started. Did you start anything new in the pandemic? Did you pick up anything different?
Interesting. Like I've even told myself, I kind of have always had a lot of like things like out, because I like when people ask me, I'm a visionary first, like before dad first, obviously. But
right.
in terms of like my own personal self, like I've always been a visionary. So I've had a lot of creative ideas and outlets, but it was just a matter of layer of execution. So I think if I could just hone and say one particular thing, I think it just allowed me just to go back and really invest my time back into myself to just really see what I really wanted to do and really kind of how to scale it. Because I think I was listening to Master P the other day. He said something that product always outlasts a talent, right? And when I really thought about that deeply, like we think of the Kobe's, we think of the Mikes, we think of the LeBrons, and how when people try to debate who's better off the court? And it's like, is it Mike or is it MJ? And I said, for a lot of people, for a lot of different reasons, one would debate that, hey, I loved Mike because Mike culturally just changed the game in terms of just culture to what I knew it as a kid.
Yeah.
LeBron branded was different because I think people confuse marketing and branding.
Yes, they do.
But I think, but I think for me, I've just been able to just learn how to go back on the things that I had the aspiration and desires to want to do. Yeah. And just go back and just figure out those things. So rather than me, like I had, I already had a men's grooming shop that I had up and started the first time by myself, independently on my own. Right. But then I come to realize like, wow, I don't have the capacity to do this at the same level as I would be as if I were to take this concept, partner up with someone else, and we can run together and we can scale this thing to a larger level. Dope. And I think really what it is just coming out of this situation, like that's kind of what I call a pandemic. So I don't want to make it a light of it because this was a real shift. Yeah. But I think now we've accepted it. We've kind of like, we've had to embrace it. But I think I have learned how to be a better businessman in terms of like, I've taken more coaching, more seminars around entrepreneurship, around just self-development, things of that nature. So I've been more investing into myself in those areas, but it's just really been strictly like visionary, like coaching, like one-on-one, just doing self-work, a lot of self-work. Yeah,
investing in self, that's key. That's key. Okay, let's get into it. So the Utah Jazz are on a hot streak right now. They have been the team that everybody's been talking about. Recently, they dropped a couple, but they've been, they top of the West, and people have been talking about them as if they are the best team in the league, which because of the numbers, because of them being at the top of the pot in the West and having the best record, I guess rightfully so for some people. Did y'all see them as a number one contender? Do you see them as a legit title contender? I guess that's a better question. Like, should we just be talking about them because they're at the top of the West, or should we be talking about them as if they can make the finals and win the finals?
You know what? You know what? It's funny. I have it written down how far I was going to get into this podcast before I mentioned this guy's name. But look, man, you already know. I mean, listen, it's to the point, man, with LeBron James in the league. I mean, can you really pay attention to anything anybody's? I mean, it's just to the point, like, okay, that's cute, y'all number one. Okay, yeah, we'll see. You know what I mean?
Right.
The thing that may be favorable to them, and I hate to say it like this, but it's favorable to them, is the AD injury. Yeah. Now, I will say, and I hate to do the comparison thing because I think that's why we're missing so much of what LeBron is doing, because it's just so much comparison. But they remind me a little bit of two teams that Chauncey Billups, Ben Wallace, Tayshaun Prince, that team that kind of broke the Lakers up. Yeah. Larry team. They remind me of them, and also, and for whatever reason, kind of remind me of that Celtic team, Perkins, KG, Hawk, that beat the Lakers as well. So I think they have like the selflessness to be, to kind of go all the way, kind of like how Miami was last year.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, yeah. So to answer your question, I guess they could be a contender, but I mean, with LBJ in the league, it's kind of like, I kind of make the reference that the Patriots over the last 10 years, it was so many times that they never had the best they never had the best record in NFL, know. But when it's time to switch, so that's how I kind of feel about the Lakers right now. As long as LeBron James has two legs, I'm not a, we'll see.
Yeah, okay. So I feel like this. I like Donovan Mitchell and I like the Jazz a lot. But this is still the NBA, y'all. Like, this is still a star-driven league, right?
Right.
I mean, name a team that has done it because of the sum of their parts since that Pistons team that did it. You know what I mean? So my thing is kind of like, I'm kind of with you, where it's kind of like, let's not do this again. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like people get bored. Like, it's the reason why Kobe doesn't have as many MVPs and Jordan doesn't have as many MVP. People get bored of greatness, and they search for whatever is a possible new thing, right? And I think we've done it. We did it with the Clippers last year. We're doing it again with the Nets this year. And now it's kind of the Jazz thing is giving it to, it's giving me those same type of vibes. Who is the Jazz guy? Like, who's the, like Donovan Mitchell is a great player and he's an all-star, but I mean, it's kind of cute to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Joe, I think to your point, what you just said, I mean, you're right. Donovan, I think it's like a personal vendetta. I think since that Shaq, statement that he made, I think as a collective, I think that really hit the team, like, personally.
Yeah.
Because I think, like, like Shaq being Shaq was just having the truth conversation in that moment. But it was one of them, like, yo, man, like, you really testing me right now. So now it's like, we really gonna turn this up and we're gonna really show y'all I ain't letting off the gas.
Right.
And I think to your point though, Joe, it's like at the end of the day, it's like superstars build this league. It just, I don't care how you want to splice it. It's just very rare. Like Lynn, like you said, like you have the few teams, like, and I think out of every team you mentioned, you can't mention those Celtics without mentioning Doc Rivers. You can't mention that Detroit team without thinking of, like, it was Larry Hughes, like, right, was a coach at that point. So it's like you can't, I mean, Brown, sorry. You can't like even not mention them. So I think it's when you think of those championship teams, it's such a real, like, the makeup of it is really like raw. And I think Utah kind of has what Denver had last year. Like, Denver was in a very similar position. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm with Joe. I'm not really... it's cute, nice record. But,
it's cute. It's cute to me. Like, and I don't mean it in like a shade way. I just mean it in like, it's cool. Like, they cool. Like, I can see them. I think your Denver analogy is on point. Like, I think they're kind of a Denver to me. Like, they are a threat to knock somebody off. You know what I mean? Like, a really good team to take them out. But past that, like, I don't see them winning a championship. I just don't. I don't see it.
You can really get caught in errors, and I hate to be like so cliche, but as long as you're in the LeBron James era,
it's true though, man.
Utah, what a great season. Ask Karl Malone what a great regular season is.
Right.
Back, you know what I mean? Like, but when you're in certain era, ask Charles Barkley what a great regular season is. So, I mean, at this barring injury, I don't. Seeing Zion Williamson go at Rudy Gobert the way he did, I said, I don't know. I said,
that's the other thing. That's the other thing about it too. It's just like we are in a 2-star league, right? And then you have the Nets, who are the anomaly. They the only team right now that really has 3 stars, right? So when you talk about being in a series versus if AD, everybody expects AD to come back. So if AD and LeBron or Paul George, even playoff P, we know that playoff P is more like pandemic P in the playoffs. But even him and Kawhi I would still take them over, Bogdanovich and Donovan Mitchell. Like, you know what I mean? I just don't think that we're there yet for the playoffs. You know what I mean? So I respect the Jazz, but and to your point, having the number one record in the league, it really doesn't matter. Like at the end of the day, it's not one of those things where it's like it doesn't matter.
Especially not with home court being what it is.
Yeah,
right now.
yeah, especially with home court, not like legit not meaning anything.
Right, legit zero.
Yeah, yeah. So, if you playing in a gym with nobody in it, like what does home court really mean?
Yes, we all gonna
right. Okay, so LeBron gets the first pick as the top vote getter. Let's pull up the list here. Who would your first pick be? Actually, different list. Let's pull up the other list. Let's pull up the list of the starters. I mean, because
first, I want to see what he's gonna say, and I want Joe to go first. I want to hear what y'all gonna say. This is interesting.
Here, where's the starters list? Oh, here he is. Yeah. Couldn't find it. I think I would go with damn. It's harder than I thought. Okay. Like in my mind, I had an answer when I you know what I mean, and now I think I would go with Embiid first.
I think if I'm LeBron, sorry, let's clarify this too.
Right. Let's definitely clarify.
It's two. If I'm LeBron, because you're getting the first pick. LeBron gets the first pick. So if I'm LeBron, I'm thinking me and Embiid on the same team. Like I'm gonna go with Embiid.
I'm going this, right? And I wonder if FanDuel has something on. I'm going with Steph Curry, my first pick, and guaranteeing a triple-double for LeBron if he has somebody like Steph to kick it out to once he drives to the paint.
Yeah, you right. I like that too.
Like playing like that. I mean, he has never really had.
He never had nobody like that. Not no shooter like that.
Like Steph out there, really. So yeah, if I'm him, I'm going like drive crazy dish. And yeah, that's 10 assists right there. That's 10 assists.
Damn.
I gotta be honest, Joe definitely took my pick first. I think Joel and LeBron will be just a great like that code. Like it's just like it's an ecosystem he's built. That's like he's been in that frame of mind now that he kind of got that big. He's just kind of more so you said. But I think honestly, man, like LeBron really had that. But if I had to pick a strong second first pick to see what like Giannis Antetokounmpo, whatever, the Greek the Freak. I think that would be very interesting because I feel like because Giannis has always had like I never want to pair with a superstar. So to really see him like in that bag, because LeBron gonna be off the gas a little bit of this All-Star because he already publicly stated
he
that
ain't really
his mind ain't there.
Yeah.
He ain't really trying to have fun.
But he say that, but
that's true. That's true though. That's true.
You know what I mean? It's like saying like I don't really feel like playing. Like I'm gonna just go to the shed and I'm gonna just stand on the wall. And then you get there and you going an hour later, you sweating and you leave and you gotta blotch your sweat. Because you all of a sudden when you in there, you want to. If you're a baller, you want to ball.
You a ball.
Right? So you can go to the courts and be like, I'm sitting out today. But you're going to end up playing like 4 games.
All right. So listen. So can I ask a sub question though? All right. I'm LeBron James. Am I trying to win or have fun? Or
win? You trying to win?
LeBron trying to win. I can't even lie. Because he's like right now. Yeah. He's on the MVP like caliber vibe too.
The most efficient player on here for me, if I'm trying to win with a LeBron James on my team, got to be Giannis. I think he's the most efficient.
So here's I'm gonna change. No, I'm not gonna change my answer. Here's why I'm a double down on the Embiid thing, right? Because when you get to the fourth quarter, they start playing defense and shit start getting real, right?
They do.
And guess who's the liability defensively? Steph Curry. So at first I kind of wanted to change my answer to Steph Curry because you sold me on it. But when we get to the fourth quarter, they're going to put in all the lockdown guys and the guys that can't. And so Embiid can defend and he can shoot. If anything, Yeah, if anything, if I didn't go Embiid, I think I would actually go Bradley Beal over only because Bradley Beal has been the only reason why nobody talking about Bradley Beal this season because his team is trash. But he's been amazing this year.
But I want to say this. Can I say this about Bradley Beal? Here's my knock on Bradley Beal, right? I would trade 2 points when it matters over the 40 points he's giving you.
I see what you're saying.
Something just the last time you slip.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, bro. Like, listen.
Clutch. It's the clutchness.
Save the 40. Save the 40. Can you get to the line in the fourth quarter?
Yeah.
You know, that's why I don't really I can't really
I see what you're saying, but in this capacity, I don't need Bradley Beal in the fourth quarter. I need 40.
Right, yeah.
I literally only what you're saying
whatever.
is right. Yeah, what you're saying is right in a regular basketball capacity, right? But because this is the All-Star game, I don't need him in the fourth quarter. I need him to give me 40, right? And you know what I'm saying, throughout the game. And this, because if Bradley Beal is going off, and I know that he gonna play defense, and I know he can. He don't got to be the guy in the fourth quarter. You know what I mean? So that's the thing, because in reality, you're really picking for that last final 8 to 6 minutes when everybody is really serious.
So would he be your 2 or your 3 though? Because this lineup look kind of small. Would he be a 2 or a 3 for you?
He would be my 2.
I think I would go with him as my 3. Cause
he would be my 2. I would be the 3. I would be the 3, and then I would get Luka at the 1.
If I'm Brian, I would play the 4, just because. Yeah, I think I would go with the 4.
Because you could put Kawhi at the 4.
But we talking this. We don't even know what the other lineup would be.
Yeah, you're right. You don't know what the other picks is going to be. But it is an option though. Yeah, we could get deep into that. But
you know what I say? This is the All-Star game is way better than the Pro Bowl, bro. It's
way better. It's not even. It's not even close. Okay, so y'all heard of the Bulls Zlatan, the soccer bull?
I didn't want.
Yes, the statement he made.
Yeah. So Zlatan came out and had some words about LeBron. If you didn't hear it, hear this.
You like going to watch basketball?
Yeah. I liked a lot, and I mean, he's a phenomenal in what he's doing. But I don't like when people, when they have some kind of status and they go in and they do politics at the same time what they're doing. I mean, do what you're good at. Do the category you do. I play football because I'm the best in playing football. I don't do politics. If I would be a politician, I would do politics. That is the first mistake people do when they become
a political politician.
Come in a certain
what the fuck is that? I don't even know what that is.
Just do what you're best at because it doesn't look good.
Okay. Let's bring up LeBron responded in a post-game interview. In short, one of his quotes was, "There's no way I would ever just stick to sports because I understand this platform and how powerful my voice is." And he said that among other things. I have a lot to say about Zlatan. The first thing that I would say was, if you don't like to put your mouth on stuff that you don't know anything about, then why are you talking about this?
Yeah, you got baited too. Somebody,
yeah. Mm-hmm. Just shut up then. If you don't want to talk about stuff that you don't know much about and you just a football player, then shut up, because you clearly don't know enough about LeBron and his activism, the plight of his people and people that look like him. You clearly don't know anything about that. If this is the type of rhetoric that you're talking about and you putting your mouth on something where you don't really know, it's very evident that you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So my thing is, just shut up and don't say anything. Just say you don't do it, right? Because LeBron is putting hundreds of little black kids through school, right? He has his own school. he's giving them tuition free from his neighborhood, right? Where he is, to whom much is given, much is required. So we need to be giving back to our neighborhoods because nobody else is going to give back to our neighborhoods. But if you knew the plight of black and brown athletes, and not only black and brown athletes, but just individuals who have the resources to bring their communities along, that responsibility is placed on them, especially when you come from black and brown people, because nobody else is, we're already working at a deficit, right? If you go and get a loan in an environment, in a neighborhood that is quote unquote an urban neighborhood or a low income neighborhood, your interest rate for the same loan, for the same credit score, will be astronomically higher if you look like me when you go to get that loan, if as opposed to if you went to Beverly Hills somewhere and got the loan or something like that, right? So we're already working against a slew of things that's been dealt with through generations of oppression, racism, all types of things, economic hardships, all types of things that clearly you, Zlatan, don't know much about. So if somebody asks you that question, you know how you answer it, just say, I don't do it, but I don't know, because you clearly don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Well, you know what? I think my biggest gripe, and I'm not even going to touch like the obvious, the whole shut up and play, like, shut up and dribble.
Right.
I'm not even touching. That's obvious. That's a layup. My issue is, and it's not in whatever this guy's name is. I don't even watch soccer, but whatever this guy's name is, he's not the only one that's guilty of it. There's a vast difference between politics and social injustice.
Right.
And LeBron James has never entered the political realm.
Right. Right.
He has never. Now, if he was saying, like, if LeBron were to wake up one day and just say, like, you know what, I feel like I should be mayor of Akron because I got money and I'm from here, I would say then, like, well, wait a minute, let's try to see what's on there first, and then let's hop on that platform. You know what I mean? But he has never made gesture that he wants to be involved in politics.
Right. Like, what's politics? Him opening a school? I promise school? Is it politics?
Or saying, like, when you kill somebody, when you kill an armed man, you should go to jail. That's speaking on social injustice. Right. There's nothing political about that.
Right.
So first of all, buddy, you're in a totally different arena.
Right.
And you're not even, you don't even know what you're talking about. You know what I mean? The guy has never, as far as to my knowledge, said, like, hey, the laws of the land are this, and I feel like this should happen to change it. No, he has never. He just said, yo, that's not fair.
Yeah, standing up for your people and doing things for your people, giving them the resources that you have, lending your voice to like you said, that really is not politics. That is being a humanitarian. That is actually being a spokesperson. That's trying to give a voice to people who are voiceless. Go ahead, Fred.
I think the thing of it is too, though, man, a lot of the times, man, like, and I think now society, it's been more, well, let me not even say that, because I think I have to give myself a own history lesson, is that culturally, it's just people, like, when, like Joe, like you were mentioning, when we're black or brown, we just get looked at differently, just only from the stance that there's no way you can understand our programming, as our race, because you never even experienced it. Like, we've all kind of had to go through that, like, differently, like, right? So all that to say is just, we come to a certain point that, like, even when it comes out to LeBron James, like, LeBron James is arguably, if not one of the biggest ambassadors of sports to me personally, like, in this modern era. Like, he is a voice. Like, I know when I think of LeBron, I don't even think platform. I don't even think, like, I call him the biggest impact player of sports, period. So I just feel like whatever he says, it just, people just, like, are naturally like, wow, LeBron said it, it's like it's safe. Like, there's no, LeBron doesn't really necessarily know how, like, he's going to toe the line of LeBron. I'm not being you, them, this, that. I'm going to speak my mind freely. But an ignorant statement like that, like you said, like, I just think it was a baited question. And again, it's so much to unload, especially considering the type of climate that we came out of, transition from what we had to deal with. And now we're kind of just going into this new awakening, as I call it. And it's just to know that that's just some of the things that we still deal with. And kudos to LeBron. LeBron was just more like,
Yeah, he was
okay,
chill.
Man. This.
He was way more chill than I would have been. He was way
LeBron
more
used
chill
to it, though. I think LeBron just built differently when it comes to that type of stuff.
He is.
And he recognized that. Again, I want to know who asked that and why did you ask that? Why did you even want him to talk about? Well, this guy kicks a ball. Why the hell you asking him about?
What's the point of if Zlatan has never been, from my knowledge, like I've heard of, like you say, I don't watch much soccer, but I've heard of Zlatan because I know he's like one of the greats of his sport, and when he does talk, he says funny shit. He don't say nothing about meaningful or anything about politics, or like he talks in third person, and that's how I know who he is. Because Zlatan is great. Zlatan kicks the ball. Like, like that's how I know of him, right? So if I'm a reporter, why would I even give a fuck what Zlatan had to say about about what somebody else is doing in the political realm or the humanitarian realm or whatever? Like, why would I care about that?
How old is he?
Zlatan?
Yeah.
I don't know. He got to be 35, 36. He might
like
be
so old enough to old enough to know better.
Yeah.
Old enough to have common sense. Sure. Like you say, man, LeBron just have done too much for the game. Like you said, Joe, like LeBron has done more off the court than any other player. Like, and again, I'm not diminishing the fact that I don't believe. Well, let me reframe what I'm saying. I believe a lot of players do a lot for their communities.
Yes.
And it doesn't necessarily be magnified because when LeBron does it, it's on a bigger scale.
Right.
But I think a lot of athletes, and I think that's where the thing that they get a lot of flack, like, well, LeBron, he's this, he's that. Well, I do just as not, if not more. And again, because the player may not necessarily have the same level of, resources, money, et cetera, et cetera. I think it's more or less that. But I think to kind of to drill it in, like you said, Joe, at the end of the day, when they have that saying, stay in your lane, it's just like at the end of the day, he wouldn't come looking for you. He's not looking for you. Why are you going to go look for him?
Exactly. Because guess what LeBron is not talking about? Zlatan.
Exactly.
At all.
Not even on a funny conversation.
Not even on a funny tip. Not even on a joking tip. So Zlatan, you should keep your mouth shut. Okay. So Luka, one of Larry Bird's former teammates, Cedric Maxwell, was calling a game and basically compared Luka to Larry Bird. Now, Larry and Luka have been compared a lot from the rip for obvious reasons, as we know. But this kind of I guess boiled over because of who said it, of his proximity to Larry Bird. And basically Luka was asked about it, and Luka basically said, you can't compare me to Larry Bird. I have more games to go. I have a long time. Basically saying, like, give me time to get there. How do y'all feel about the Luka and Larry comparison?
This is an interesting topic because when I see this is what I find funny, and I think we do this naturally with all athletes. Why do when someone come in the league, we instantly compare them to the top superstar? Instantly. First year, second year, like was Zion, next LeBron James, biggest thing coming out of high school. I'm like,
people were saying it and didn't even know his game. He looked big like LeBron, so it was just like he's big and black. He's LeBron.
Exactly my
That's
point.
All it was.
Now, let's call it. So to Joe's point, let's call it spade a spade. So because he's white, now he's Larry Bird.
Yeah, because he's white and can shoot and can pass the ball. He the next Larry Bird.
You gotta be a little bit more than white to be that guy.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. And I think, like, to Luka's point, man, it's like, yo, God, I got a lot to prove. I still got a lot to do. Now, don't get it twisted. I can't lie. Like, I think it was last year watching them in the bubble and watching Luka. That was my first time, actually watching them play. Luka was cooking. Yeah. Like, I actually respected him. Like, wow, like, you really got like a real game. It wasn't like a game. I can see why you're an all-star. It was like superstar at this level, if you want to call it. But I think like he's definitely right to that. I don't even think he was downplaying it. I think he was genuinely like, yo, why do we often compare myself to this? Because now what happens if next year Luka just drops down and he's not the same player? Like it's just like you easily have to retract those statements. So but I guess the deeper question is, why do athletes that are of African-American descent or color, they get this automatic, if someone white does become of it, it's instantly they compare it to the next great superstar. Where's Larry Bird? Like, he's next Larry Bird. Like, Larry Bird. Like, it's gonna be no Larry.
I'm gonna go ahead and and like I said, no layups for me. I'm gonna shoot it from half court. He ain't good as Larry Bird. You ain't good as Larry Bird. Let me tell you, Larry Bird is considered the great. But before, now, in my opinion, before LBJ came, Larry Bird, in my opinion, was the greatest three of all time. All time.
Yeah, which I would agree with too.
You know what I'm saying?
I think Larry was the greatest.
He was the greatest three of all time. He still might be, considering that LeBron is either the greatest 0 or greatest 6 of all time.
Yeah, like
he's the greatest of that, but he clearly ain't no 3. He ain't no 1, 2, 4, or 5. So he gonna be a 0 or a 6. So Larry Bird still might be the greatest 3 of all time. So looking at things, and I'm like, well, I seen 2 years. You know what I mean? I don't feel like
he's definitely not as great of a shooter.
He's not.
We can look at the numbers.
Great defense like Larry Bird. Like
no,
not the center. But you know what I'm saying? Like he you know what I mean? He's not the anchor of a great defense like Larry Bird was. He's not showing me as much basketball IQ outside of scoring as Larry Bird has, and that's because he's young. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, in his defense, let him turn into that. But what I'm just seeing a great scorer. Larry Bird was a great whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, wait, we're real quick to that point, Delaney. But now, like, think about it. We also got to compare this too, though, because I think a lot of comparisons happen. Like, we fail to realize like the errors are just different. The errors, game, with the game speed, and like, isn't it a height disadvantage? I think Larry Bird is like what? I told you that Luka got to be like what? What's the height difference?
Yeah, Larry Bird 6'8", Luka like 6'2", right?
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. So I just feel like this, like, of course, like that's what justifies the rebound totals. And like I'm looking at the assists. Now, if you ask yourself, now this is where the comparison happens. It's like if you're starting to
well, Luka is a point guard.
I'm about to say Luka's a 1.
You know what I mean?
Like,
so that's
like, that default said it all. Like you can't compare that. You know what I mean?
I don't. I mean. It's hard to talk like this because it's like you're not giving Luka I don't want to seem like that, but what I'm saying though is for what I've seen with Larry Bird now, the difference though is that I didn't see Larry Bird live like I'm watching Luka.
Right.
So and I say that to say, when you see a person out of their prime later on, you see the greatness.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of bad Luka games more than I was able to see Larry games.
Yeah.
But Lynn, but to your point though, on that, you got to think about that too though. Like even just the sample size on that though, like that's why I think it's hard to really like not say blemish or dimming Luka's light in that sense, because I feel like Larry Bird, like from what we know, like even Jordan from Magic and like I don't see, and I'm treading really lightly when I say this. I think like transcending talent, and you think of Larry and you think of Luka, like for what Larry was able to do for the game, I don't think necessarily Luka has done that to the NBA yet. Like, you know what I mean? Like Larry Bird was transcending. Like him, Magic, they were transcending. Like East Coast, it was nothing but Larry Bird. West Coast, it was Magic. Like people lived years to see that. I don't think Luka is even close to that yet to even compare them. Like, so I think that's what makes it a little tough.
I think I think we, like, to your point, we've been doing this for a while and we got to slow down. We doing it. It happened with Zion. I was just having a conversation with our boy Chad about because Chad was doing it with the Zion thing. Well, a Zion is just I like Zion. So with Zion, I just call a spade, right? I just tell people slow down. He's not there yet. We talking about a guy whose shot chart doesn't extend past 10 feet. Well, you look at, I literally sent Chad a shot chart. They put the dots in it. All the dots was right around the basket. Like, you know what I mean? It looked like somebody was taking target practice, aim right at the basket, right? So I'm like, you got to slow down because you're comparing players like the Zion and LeBron thing, whose game, like Zion's game is not even there yet to be compared to LeBron, right? We look at how his mass and how he's a freak of nature. And that's a comparison, but he's not there yet. Now, could he possibly get there in a Zion situation? Maybe he can develop a shot. Maybe he can. We're talking about a guy who isn't even the best player on his own team. right? They were just talking the other day about how Zion is almost non-existent in the fourth quarter sometimes, right? Partly because they're subbing him out on defense. We're talking about a guy who gets subbed out on defense because they have found in the fourth quarter that he's been a defensive liability, right? And so I'm having a conversation with a boy of mine who's telling me that he's the next LeBron James. That's wild to me, right? Especially when you talking about a guy in year 18 who's number one in defensive efficiency. In his 18th season, he's number one in defensive, and you're comparing him to a guy who gets subbed out on defense because people headhunt him. We gotta slow down.
For three names that we just talked about, not just talk, but we talk about Jordan, Brian, Larry Bird. What I want to say to those three people, I got three names to throw in there: Kobe, Sean Kemp, Dirk Nowitzki. Before you be the next Larry Bird, you got to be the next Dirk Nowitzki at least.
Right.
Great comparison.
Jordan, you got to be the next Kobe. And before Zion Williams,
can be in the, yes.
You got to be next Sean Kemp.
Exactly.
That's like to me.
Yeah, exactly. You know exactly. Because I was telling Chad, I said 85 or to 90% of Zion's points come off of cleanup duty. They dunks, they putbacks, and they layups. Don't call him LeBron James when they don't even run offense through the guy.
He's Larry Johnson, you know
what I mean? I said if anybody from today's game you can compare him to, at the time I said Draymond, but I take that back because then I thought maybe that's a diss to Draymond because Draymond in his heyday, in his prime, was running the offense. Like Draymond would bring the ball down sometimes on those Golden State teams and run the offense. Like the ball would actually move through.
Year twice, right?
So I can't even say that Zion does that, right? So to your point, for him to be the next LeBron, he got to be the next Draymond already, right? His game is not there, you know. So we just got to slow down with some of the comparisons because they get a little crazy.
Julius Randle,
right? How about that?
He transformed too.
He got to be the next Julius Randle. Okay. Off to the National Football League we go. Russell Wilson's agent made an interesting comment about his free agency situation. Actually, before we get there, one last NBA note that we had to get to. Let me back up. So they announced the All-Star reserves this past week, I think it was this past weekend, which had a lot of people talking about the snubs and dealing with the snubs and situations like that. One of the snubs that I had was Devin Booker at the time and Trae Young. Super so somebody raised the idea of doing away with the East-West system where it has to be equal all-stars from each conference. And I had never heard of it before, and I love it, right? So to me, tell me if you think that will solve the snub issue, and tell me if you think it's warranted, because I think it's warranted. Let me just throw it out here because everybody's been talking about for years. It was, the East is weak and this, that, and the third and all of this stuff, right? So we can do away with the East being weak and the West being too strong, or the West being weak and the East being, we can do away with that if we say it doesn't have to be an equal amount of all-stars from each conference. We just take the best 30 players in the league, regardless of where you're from, and you're in the all-star game.
But you know what though? But for the sake of the actual game though, that's cool, but it would definitely have to still be some kind of mandate with positions. You know what I mean? Because
I'm down with that. I'm down.
I think
you know what? I don't even know if I'm down with that.
Do you really want to see the Joker in the All-Star game? But he deserves to be there.
You're right.
He definitely deserves to be there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it might be a situation where Rudy Gobert, I don't want to see him in an All-Star game, but he definitely deserves to be there. You know what I'm saying? So maybe not. Chris Paul don't deserve to be there.
Right. You're right.
Yo, I don't know how he always.
Yeah, like the Suns. So when I say Devin Booker should have been in, it's not because the Suns should have 2 All-Stars. Chris Paul is getting a Lifetime Achievement Award. He doesn't need to be there. Devin Booker should be in his place. When you talk about the Celtics, why does the Celtics need 2 All-Stars? They're below 500 in the East. Yeah. Like they don't need to. They don't need 2 All-Stars. Jason Tatum, sit out, because I don't know if Jaylen Brown is still hurt, but Jaylen Brown has played better this year. So put Jaylen Brown in, let Jason Tatum sit out. Like, y'all don't need 2 All-Stars.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those things. It's going to be, yeah. The East, I didn't even know they were still doing it. I mean,
Yeah, like you already breaking the teams up, so let's just break the
so what's
conference
the
thing up.
point?
Let's just break the conference thing up and take the. I'm down if you want to withhold. If you want to keep the structure of the front court, back court, because when you vote, that's how you got to vote. You got to vote front court. You got to vote back. So I'm fine with that. But let's take the conference out of it.
I'm gonna tell you what need to be taken out of it. I don't even think it's a matter of conference. Is you know what? It's too many casual fans voting on this stuff.
That's true.
And that's what it is.
That's true.
And you know what I'm saying? There's no way in the world Dame Lillard at this point
should not be a starter.
Come on. It's no
way.
It's inconceivable. So you have like, oh, I know who Chris Paul is. I didn't know he played for the Suns.
Yeah.
You talking about Jaylen Brown with the beard? But, you know what I mean? Don't even know he been hurt all year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I think that's the real glaring thing. I think that would kind of appease, even if you had more intelligent, like to the sport. The popular vote should be for the reserves.
Yeah, I think that might be a change that they need.
Yeah, that actually makes better sense.
Are you with the change of? Are you with taking away the conference thing? Are you with the equal?
I think if you have intelligent minds doing it, and when I say intelligent mind, I say AP, just like they doing in NCAA, AP, coaches, players, basketball influences. I think that'll regulate itself.
Are you with it, Free? Are you with doing away with the conferences?
No, like to your point, what you said, I think doing the popular vote or the vast majority of all of the talents together, like kill East Coast, West. I think, to me, if it's All-Star, I want to see the best players on All-Star Day. Like,
period.
simple.
I don't care if the East got the equal amount of the West. Because some guys, how many times in the beginning of the season do we go, the West is loaded this year. He's playing great, but he's not going to make it because so-and-so is going to make it and so-and-so is going to make it out of the West.
Absolutely.
And it's like, that's not fair. Like, you know what I mean?
That should not be the case at all. It should be the case.
Ridiculous.
To your point, if you have East Coast, West Coast, kill it. Look, the best players, this is where you voting from.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, like I said, I get now this new whole thing with the captain structures or whoever the starters are. But even too, man, I ain't trying to jump off the train, but even that's weird because now, like,
the captain,
someone like, even now, like LeBron is like, okay, Kyrie, he ain't gonna really, kind of him and Steph is like, Giannis really don't want to play with you because, like, I'm trying to compete against you.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like for LeBron, it's more so for LeBron. LeBron knows, like, okay, I'm gonna be number one every single time. So it's just like, and KD now is more like, because last year him and KD's on the same team.
Yeah, they
now,
were.
Because KD's East. Now you can imagine, like, he's gonna take Steph. He's gonna take a Kyrie. It's like, I don't like the politics of it. Like, I think like that part of the voting structure. If that was a little different, I'd be cool. But
what I hate about it is this, though. I hate the fact that, in my opinion, right now MVP of the league is Embiid. Number 2 is not Bradley Beal, but number 2 would be LeBron. Number 3 would be Luka. Bradley Beal will be in there. If he didn't have a. So what I'm saying is they're playing the best basketball. How the hell did KD get picked?
Oh, yeah, KD, that to your point of the popular thing, the fans having a vote, like KD just got picked because he's the second most popular player in the league. Because he shouldn't have got picked. Guess who else shouldn't be on an all-star roster? He's gotten replaced. But Anthony Davis shouldn't be all-star this year. He has not only has he missed a shit ton of games, but he's not having a good year. He's not an all-star this year. He's in off of name recognition only. You know what I'm saying? And so is Zion. Zion is off of name recognition only. Zion shouldn't be in an all-star game this year.
No. Well, but just like Free was saying, this is when things get political because now at the same time, the number one team in the East is the Sixers. That's where I'm from.
Yeah.
At the same time, you know, if you told me, if that's the case, and the AP had the votes, and you had to see what you got, who you got over there, you got Ben Simmons, Embiid. I don't want to see Tobias Harris. Sorry.
No, I don't either.
I don't want to see Shake Milton. Sorry.
Yeah.
But the AP guys might say, no, he deserves it not because they're number one. So I get why certain guys, I do want to see Zion in an All-Star game.
I'd rather see him in the. I think I'd
rather see him in the Ricky Challenge, man. Like the Ricky softball
or the dunk contest.
The dunk contest, exactly. But to see
I think it's too premature.
Zion, all that, it'd be cool.
I think it's too premature because
right.
Because to your point, like we always say, if you're gonna put somebody in, you got to take somebody off, right? So to your point, would I like to see Zion in the All-Star game? Yes. Would I like to see him at the expense of a Devin Booker who been putting in? No, I wouldn't.
Right, exactly not.
So I'm like,
right.
He doesn't need to be in, you know. So
that's right.
Okay, let's move it. So Russell Wilson's agent had an interesting comment about his free agency. They've been trying to save face and about demanding a trade. We've been hearing that Russell wanted to get traded and he wanted out of Seattle for like the past couple weeks now. And he nor his agent ever really denied it. But then they came out with a definitive statement that said, they said it to Adam Schefter, Russell Wilson has not demanded his agent Mark Rodgers told Adam. Wilson has told the Seahawks he wants to play in Seattle, but if a trade was considered, the only teams he would go to are the Cowboys, Saints, Raiders, and Bears. So how is it that you say, I don't want to get a divorce, but if we did get a divorce,
I knew I was hitting that.
I'm down to get with Ashley, Brittany, Tanisha. Like what? That makes no sense. Like, what do you mean? So you never demanded a trade, but you have a list of 4 teams who you want to get traded to?
But see, here's why none of this stuff makes sense though, because if you aren't first in this kind of stuff, whatever happens in front of you, everybody like, yeah, him too. JJ Watt just literally did the same exact thing.
Yeah.
And released a statement why he kept things so quiet. So we understand why, oh no, I would never do. I don't want to trade, no. Because if the numbers don't work and you don't get out of there, you still got to play there. You know, fan base is not going to forget that you wanted to leave. Right. You know, it's a PR nightmare, you know. So, I mean, but yeah, I mean, let's be for real. We know your connection with Deshaun Watson and what he's doing. And we know you've been talking to him. So you probably got it from you, Russell Wilson.
Right.
we know you talk to Dak. We know you do. So y'all probably got it in y'all head. You want to switch? You know what I'm saying? Tell your agent, say you over here, I'm going to go over there. You know what I mean? And let's just do that.
But that's not a bad idea to me. The whole I'm not mad at that. And it came out that the Cowboys allegedly, because there wasn't an official statement, but allegedly they said that the idea of a Dak and Russ swap was laughable, which to me says more about the Cowboys than anything else.
But but Jerry Jones is so caught in his feelings right now because basically you lost. He's already lost. He's already lost. So the bottom line is the Russell Wilson thing. Y'all can afford him.
Yeah.
You know, his signing bonus ain't got nothing to do with y'all.
No.
You can't afford Dak.
Yeah.
So the fact that
it doesn't make sense. Why would you not be down? Why would it be laughable for it to be laughable? Russell Wilson, who has a Super Bowl, and Dak.
You're taking Russell Wilson. Period.
Like what?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to lie.
The Cowboys being the Cowboys.
I don't think I would be that in love with Russell Wilson because I don't think the Cowboy issue before Dak got hurt, the Cowboys issue wasn't the quarterback position.
You're right, but now it's an issue because he want to get paid and y'all don't want to pay him. So now it's an issue.
I believe with the talent that you have on your line and with your receivers, you don't necessarily need a Russell Wilson, you know. And so I don't think they need a Russell Wilson right now. You know, if they're going to lose Dak, I don't think they have to replace him with Russell Wilson.
They don't have to replace him with Russell Wilson, but he's definitely an upgrade. That's my thing.
Absolutely.
Right?
Now here's the thing. Is Deshaun Watson quietly an option? Because that's what I think is going to explode this whole thing.
I haven't heard it. He should be. I mean, both Deshaun Watson and Russell Wilson are better than Dak Prescott.
Hands down, Joe. I gotta agree with you on that. Like, and then too, like at the end of the day. Well, no. Okay, let's make it to your point. Like you,
Russell Wilson better than Dak, but I don't think Deshaun Watson is better than Dak. I think they might be.
No, he better.
Glenn, I strongly have to disagree with this.
Yeah.
Deshaun.
Yeah,
listen. Deshaun. I mean, again, I'm not qualified to talk sports. I'm just here enjoying the evening of fellowship. But I will say this:
none of us are. But we're gonna talk.
Listen, but that's what I'm saying. But here's what I'm saying. Let's just like I don't want to bring up the college things, but I'm just looking at the natural mental pedigree of just. I think what has happened that I think Dak has constantly had just overpromise, underdeliver, not by his own doing. I think it's also Jerry Jones just putting the pressure on him to have to deliver. One thing you could say about Deshaun, call it for what it may, he made Houston. Like, we gotta be honest, we weren't really checking for Houston. Like Houston, one thing we all know about JJ Watt, it was cool, but DeAndre Hopkins couldn't have looked better because of this. Like that tandem worked. I can't say that Dak has made that in Dallas for any of the receivers.
And Dak has had way more weapons.
Way more.
He's done less with more. That's not how the saying is supposed to go.
Remember this though. You got to keep in mind too. Dak is in a different offense where Deshaun Jackson has the keys way more than Dak did. You know what I'm saying? They didn't start throwing the ball until last season, and when they did, Dak was damn near MVP before he got hurt. You know, so what I say, I'm not saying Dak is here, so bring Deshaun down here. I'm saying Deshaun is here, but you got to bring Dak up, and then Russell Wilson is better than both of them. Because comparable to last two seasons, Dak was better. You know, and they had to feed their running back, and they had, you know.
I think they did. Yeah. Go ahead, Joe.
I just think Dak had more. I think Deshaun.
Part of the reason why
Deshaun won out is because the cupboard is bare and he don't have shit to do with anything. He has nothing to work with at all. Like he doesn't have an O-line. They shipped his best receiver off for free for a bag of chips. They just gave him away. Like his running back is going. He has nothing. Like for me, it's hard to say that.
So they're a wash, right? They're a wash. That got hurt last season. Deshaun didn't get hurt, but he's playing with nothing, right? Take it to the season before that. If you take the talent, let's take the skill positions that they both had to play with, right? Who's better, Amari Cooper or Nuke? Nuke is better, right? Take the secondary. Who was better, Gallup or Fuller? Fuller was better, right? The only thing that Dak had that Deshaun didn't have was Zeke, and then Zeke was hurt. Houston had a better defense, had a better defensive line, better secondary. I'm telling you, I think the issue is that talent, raw talent, hike, make a play. Deshaun Watson is better.
I think it's talent for me. That's I think.
Yeah, in that regard. But as far as like running the offense and being productive, Dak was better than Carson Wentz the whole time. I just couldn't say it.
I think anytime I hit that reset button for me and how I think about stuff, if I'm like a GM and I gotta choose right now, and like I said, that's why I have to reset it because take away because you always compare what the team is, how it's currently constructed, how the defense is currently constructed. Hit the reset button. Who are you taking? Dak? Are you taking Deshaun?
This is not even a. This is a
you know you're taking Deshaun.
You know that. Yeah.
I'm going to answer the question. And I'm going to keep my mouth shut. Right. I'm going to answer the question. Keep my mouth shut. Dak deserved the contract before he got hurt. Right.
Yes, we agree. I agree on that.
Got hurt, and everybody in the league said this is exactly why you should have paid that boy. Right. He still hasn't opened his mouth and talked bad about the franchise. Deshaun Watson got paid. Maybe he deserved it, maybe he didn't. Regardless, he got paid, and they had a bad year, and he's flipping out. For my money as a GM, give me that.
There's a lot of red tape with that though.
Yeah,
so you can't kill Deshaun because there was a lot of
JJ Watt
underlying
apologized to Deshaun when they was walking off the field. Like, I'm sorry for this organization. I'm sorry for this team. He literally said, "We are wasting your years."
Literally.
It's a lot of context.
If JJ Watt says that, come on, that's a lot.
That's a
But
lot.
I'm saying, as a GM, what Deshaun Watson is doing is making people not want to go to Houston because he just didn't like what was happening.
But nobody should want to go to Houston because it's a mess. That's why.
That's fine. That's fine. But what I'm saying though, you say as a GM, who would I want? Knowing that anything can happen, we can have a bad season. I'm afraid to have a Deshaun Watson on my team.
So honest question, real quick. I got to ask you. So Lynn, your honest, personal, raw opinion on what I want to ask you. Mm-hmm. So you're suggesting that Deshaun is a bigger head case than Dak?
I'm saying for what we see, Dak Prescott has never said anything ever. He has never said anything. And it was well deserved.
Neither is Deshaun. What is Deshaun saying?
That's what I'm saying.
Deshaun went buck wild. He went buck wild.
When?
Because Lynn, they went behind his back with he simply asked, like, hey, if you are the franchise quarterback and you are the future, and you can't, it's like the whole LeBron thing. He just want to know what the coach is. I don't think there's too much to ask. He just want to know what's going on.
They shipped his best receiver without him knowing for free.
Listen,
for free.
Without a doubt. I think it would kind of be like, this is how I feel about it, right? I got a son, right? It would be literally like the person that I take care of. I do something, and he coming in, why you didn't ask me about it? Well, if you would have came to me a little bit different, I would have told you what I did, but for real, I don't have to explain myself to you, son. And my money is bigger than your money in this situation. So why would I do anything to tear your money up? Trust me, winning is way bigger than you winning. You get a championship ring. I get way more than that. You know what I'm saying? So
I hear that.
You know what I'm saying? So my thing is like, where I'm at with it is like, GMs do things all the time and have conversations with other GMs and owners that you have no clue as a player. Us giving away Hopkins, you don't know what we was trying to do. You know what I'm saying?
But that's my issue. If I'm Deshaun, my issue is I'm your franchise quarterback. I should know what you were trying to do. That's my thing. Yeah. I'm not saying I need to be literally have this equal say as the owner, because that's the father-son analogy, which I get. I'm not saying I need that, but I'm saying as your franchise quarterback who's young and talented, I should have some direction, some idea of the direction that the franchise is going in. And right now, it looks like we just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. And that would make me go, all right, I want out of here. Like, I don't want to. And he's never, but even before this whole debacle, which is really not a debacle because Deshaun has never really came out in a press conference, in an official statement, in land-based or trashed the franchise or said any. He's been a model citizen for his entire career.
Right. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, to that point right there, Lynn, answer this though. Like, even this, I think if it's me upon the side, just look at the coach they hired, man.
Yeah. Listen,
hey, come on, man. You can't expect the man to be like, all right, I'm out now. Like, y'all just doing anything.
Listen, I totally get it. But my issue is, but as a GM though, I'm not talking about as a
right. No, I get it. Business is business. I hear you.
Like, I'm not picking on Deshaun Watson. I feel the same way about Carson Wentz. Okay, so we did something you don't like. You want to act like a baby, throw tantrums. See you then.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is, I'm a Eagle fan. I hate that. I hate the guy. I hate him. Mm-hmm. But what I love about him is the way he handled not getting paid. Look what Zeke did when he didn't get paid. Sat out and everything. Dak Prescott didn't get paid and then got hurt. The last time I saw that was when what's my man Earl Thomas? They didn't pay Earl Thomas on Seattle. But hurt. He went out with his middle fingers up. See, this is why I should have. Dak never did that to them.
But that getting hurt and not getting paid is exactly why he should have set up. I don't like the way he handled it. I think he played himself.
He's going to get paid though, but that's what I'm saying. But that's why he's in the seat of leverage. That
he's gonna get franchise tagged again, and then they're gonna let him walk.
Listen, but the way he handled that situation, where he's going to go, the blessing is going to be this big for him. I'm telling you, GM.
Oh, because stuff like that. Because I think he'll get paid in free agency once he leaves, but I think how he handled it is he's not going to benefit from it. He's going to because of it the NFL is next up, right? Whoever's next up is the highest paid. He's next up. So just by the system alone, he's going to get paid regardless of what he does. But him handling it great is not going to pay off for him because they're from everything that it sounds like they're going to tag him again.
Let's put a pin in this, though. Let's put a pin in it, though, right? Let's put a pin in this. Today, we say that today, if we find out that they passed on Russell Wilson, a Super Bowl quarterback, and signed Dak Prescott, they came some kind of way they got the numbers right. Dak Prescott coming off an injury, will you think that had nothing to do with the way he handled the situation?
If who signs him?
With the Cowboys.
No. I think the Cowboys don't have options.
I'm saying if they can sign Russell Wilson right now.
Yeah.
For them, big time. He's a Super Bowl quarterback,
Oh, you saying if they don't sign
sign him, but they sign
right.
It's like a law, like look what the guy did.
I think they owe it to him.
It would be because of his attitude, though. I'm telling you, it would be because of that.
I think it would be because they find themselves at a deficit and they should have signed him a minute ago because they don't have who's your next up quarterback, right? Before this, you know what I mean, right? Even right now, who did they sign? Andy Dalton? Like that was y'all backup plan? What options do the Cowboys have? I think they need to pay him because they don't have any other options at this point. And if they're intelligent and they don't believe in that, because to me, a sign of you not paying him, especially a quarterback at his age, is to just say you don't believe in him. So if you don't believe in him, go get Russell Wilson. Yes, that's my thing. I just think that they are showing their hand at this point. Mm-hmm. And for them to go ahead and they still haven't come to it. The man been injured all season. Why y'all have had plenty of time to negotiate a contract for him, and y'all have not y'all haven't done it yet. So to me, that's telling me y'all gonna tag him again, and then y'all gonna let him walk. Because you can't tag me twice and expect me to come to the table. Y'all done. Me and y'all done. It's a wrap. What'd you say?
I just like the quiet guy in sports. That's just.
But Deshaun's been quiet too.
He hasn't. He hasn't.
How has he? What did he say?
No. Lynn is looking at it from the perspective of him,
demanding the
trade. Yeah, I knew. Yeah, but Lynn, his reasoning for it is just they're blatantly they're making him look like the bad guy, and he's done nothing but serve.
He didn't do anything. He didn't do anything.
And my thing of it is to that point, and to your point, that ball. He should have got his money. They should have paid him. Like it wouldn't be no situation. I don't think we're not debating that.
No, yeah.
What I'm more so just saying is that now he's hurt for what it's worth. Now they're just trying to, all right, we may lose him, whatever. Let's plan for the future. But then again, it's just like Deshaun really, in all honesty, did his job and didn't really complain about it.
But even in demanding a trade, he never came out and said anything in the media.
I want to go to.
He's never. So he hasn't been boisterous or messy.
He has though.
How?
He has.
When?
He. You said when? No. Yeah. Insider information is saying that.
Yeah. See, insider is not messy. You can't be.
Allegedly.
Alleged is not messy to me.
He's not denying it. Wait a minute, hold up. Now let's be for real. Let's. I know we got time. Let's get into it.
Well, coming up with it. We about to go ahead.
I'm gonna say one more thing. All right, with DeAndre Hopkins, Deshaun Watson, and J.J. Watt in the same conference as the Seattle Seahawks and the Rams, who within the last 5 years have both been to a Super Bowl, were they going to win? The answer was no. He knew that they were a rebuilding team when he signed that contract. You know what I'm saying? So you can either hold on to Sean to Nuke Hopkins, who you had the whole time, and it ain't going nowhere, or we can tear this thing down to the bare bones, pay you your money, and add the pieces and become.
The problem is you can't start tearing a house down that I live in and don't tell me about it. That's the thing.
Yeah. No,
we're gonna be beefing.
I like how Joe said that. Yeah.
You knew we was a rebuilding team.
But was they really in the
rebuild?
No. I feel like Houston was extremely
Houston
competitive.
Was trying to,
what was it? With the show?
When they had JJ in his prime and Deshaun, they got Fuller.
Like,
they got.
What was
that
they
wasn't a rebuild
though?
team.
They was. I'm saying, but they had already shot their shot with that team. What else was they going to do?
But get better, improve, not give away our best.
Not give our best assets.
You had to mortgage something though. You had to mortgage something.
So
going to pay you?
But listen.
Yeah, I know it's weird.
If our house is falling down and our roof is fucked up, you can't go and sell the house and then come tell me, Joe, I sold our house. Like that's not okay.
We sold the car. So the car. We had to fix the roof, so we had to sell the car. You know what I mean?
On that note,
we're gonna move. We're gonna move on that note. Aaron Rodgers. Before we get to, we're about to hit the rapid fire. But before we get to rapid fire, Aaron Rodgers' fiance did an interview on some Tonight Show where she pretty much, it seemed to me as if she was kind of like playing Aaron Rodgers. Like it seemed to me like it was a little bit of a downplay of her new fiance. If you haven't heard it, let's listen to it real quick.
He's first off just a wonderful, incredible human being. But I never thought I'd be engaged with somebody who threw balls for a living. Like I never thought as a little girl, I was like, yeah, when I grow up, I'm gonna marry someone who throws balls. Yeah. But he's really just so good at it. And
he really knows how to throw a ball. Yeah.
He can throw fastballs, he can throw slow balls, high balls, low balls. When I first met him, I think my dog like pulled.
Okay.
Who is she?
We have reduced Aaron Rodgers to somebody who throws balls for a living. Aaron Rodgers, that's your fiance, sis.
But she's so big.
I don't see. And my thing of it is, you're on Jimmy Fallon. Like you're on like
you're on Jimmy Fallon, bro.
Network. Like Aaron Rodgers is not one of the biggest like NFL stars that we all know, and you're saying that he just throws balls.
But who is she?
She's an actor. She's like an actor. She's. I mean, she's not Aaron Rodgers.
She's not Aaron Rodgers. Her name is Shailene Woodley.
She's not Aaron Rodgers of acting for sure.
She's not Aaron Rodgers of acting. No. But to reduce him to, I never thought I'd be with somebody who throws balls for a living.
You know what that is, though? You know what that is?
Like, sis, he's a Super Bowl winning, future Hall of Famer.
No,
but you know what? That's a classic example of a failed joke attempt. I think she was joking, but it was no studio. You know what I mean?
You know what though?
That's a good point, Liz.
The thing that scares me is, and I played the video for a reason, because looking at her, she doesn't appear to be joking to me.
Serious.
She looks like she's genuinely like, yeah, he's cool. Like I never thought I'd be with somebody who just throws balls for a living. Like, what? Like she was speaking about him like she just landed with a big YouTuber, like a guy who just is he just ended like she was just like she's marrying Jake Paul. Like he's just Jake Paul who just blew up on YouTube and now he's rich. And so I just, I love him, but I never thought I'd be with somebody who blew up on YouTube. Like that's how she's talking about it.
Yeah.
It was just so like disrespectful to me. Like, why are you?
It definitely was.
But like he's definitely not the upgrade though. Like, what are you?
Yeah, like what?
It's Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
his money, your money. I'm pretty sure it's completely two different things right now.
Literally never seen her face before. I mean, it would be
until you shout out to your podcast. That's the first time we saw
it.
Round of applause for Joe on that. Bring some light to the new Aaron Rodgers.
Literally, because never heard of her before. I mean, it's like it would be if like Beyonce was like, I never thought I'd be with a rapper before. Not even Beyonce, because Beyonce is the Beyonce of You know what I mean? So even that comparison doesn't really work. You know what I mean? But like that isn't. It was just wild. It was weird to hear, and then just the look on her face, like she looked like she was really genuinely trying to find the words. Like, yeah, he's cool. He throws balls for a living. I just never thought I'd be one of those chicks. Like, what?
I'm just curious. Who? So I mean, what was you thinking? Like, I mean, who do you think he was going to marry?
She claimed she didn't know who he was.
Yeah, I'm going back to Landport, man. I think it was scripted. Like, you know TV. I really felt like that was a failed. Like, hey, so listen, like Aaron Rodgers throws balls, so it'd be cool if we talk about balls. And like, yeah, that'd be totally fun. I'm like,
she got to laugh before try to bring it back.
Wow, it was terrible. Sorry. Okay, we're gonna hit this rapid fire and get out of here on this. High school basketball coach Mike Anderson was suspended after beating a team 161-2. That really happened.
Yeah, I think he should have been.
Why? For winning?
I mean, I would have to see what happened.
A basketball game happened.
No.
He said no. You know, like
you play to win, man, at all costs. That's sports, man.
But no, wait a minute though. Now
I'm suspended because your team is trash and can only score 2 points. I'm suspended because of that.
No, but is a more no. So all right, so I coach Tar Heels or whatever, with Duke or whatever. There is a point where a game can get to the point where you're only allowed to run in between the tackles on both sides. You can't run. You can't air it out. You can't run on the outside or anything like that. Once a game gets so out of hand, I think that's necessary.
But if you're playing, but if you don't run right, and if you're playing within the rules and you scorch them by 50 points, how is that? How should you be suspended?
But you can see when a person is trying to pad the points up. 162.
Yeah, he was going for ESPN.
He was going for ESPN.
He's like, you know what? We will go ESPN if we do this.
Trying to get somebody
Let's keep going.
He was going for ESPN. But again,
that
scoring points in a basketball game, as far as I know, is legal. It's perfectly legal. I've never heard of it being out of bounds. So that's why this is weird to me. But it happened. So JJ Watt signs with the Cardinals, 2 years, $30 million. He said he wanted to be with a contender. So that's why I'm confused as to why he signed with the Cardinals.
Irrelevant.
I agree there.
Irrelevant.
I don't get it. Other than Arizona is a cool place to retire. I love Arizona.
Oh yeah, Arizona is fun. Pretty cool.
Totally irrelevant.
So I don't think that him actually wanting to win a Super Bowl went into that. He also got paid though, which I don't think. I'm surprised that they pay him. JJ Watt.
Well, I mean, Arizona is one of those places where anything's an upgrade. Like I wouldn't have bought Luka Hopkins for what they bought him for. I don't pay that money for receivers. I don't. So so I wouldn't pay that kind of money for a receiver or a defensive end, especially when I got Chris Jones on the other side. Why?
Right.
I mean, I think it was really trying to recreate Tampa Bay's D-line. So I guess.
Yeah, I don't know what they're trying to do. Victor Oladipo turned down $45 million extension from Houston, and he will be a free agent this summer, and allegedly he's going to be in trade talks before the March 25th trade deadline, which makes things very interesting because I don't think that Victor Oladipo gets the respect he deserves because he played in Indiana. Yep. And I think him being in Indiana made a lot of people, especially casual fans, we were just talking about the casual fan, made a lot of people overlook Victor Oladipo is a bona fide superstar, basketball-wise. He might not have the pedigree of the LeBrons and the KDs and the James Harden and the Kyrie Irvings, but he's just as good. He should be in that realm. He dealt with some injury stuff. And so that I think that adds to it. And then him playing in Indiana, it adds to it. But if he can come back healthy, I think whoever gets him is going to get a superstar if he stays healthy. The Raptors are trying to get rid of Kyle Lowry, apparently. So
just forget it. Forget it. Because
So
forget it then.
Yeah, I don't.
Oladipo and Siakam ain't gonna win the.
Yeah, it's gonna be the Pacers again. Like if he goes to Toronto and then Kyle's gone, and I I don't see it. But
Stuff.
It'll be dope if Oladipo goes to a contender. That'll be, if he ends up in LA or he ends up, in Brooklyn or something like that.
See, the only problem is they couldn't pay. The thing of it is they couldn't pay him though. Like that's the problem. The only place he can legit go. I mean, shout out to my boss Celtics. We suck right now. I'll admit that, but we can pay him. You come up here. We can get you at the 2.
But Boston can't.
The 1. Kim at the 1. Think about it. No, but Joe, let's be honest for a quick second. Kim at the 1. Victor at the 2. Jalen at the. Jason at the 3. Jalen at the 4.
I like it talent-wise. I don't like the fit. I think Boston is already.
Okay,
Boston already has a tug of war.
Two
budding superstars, right? Because we all thought this is Jalen Tatum's year. This is his trajectory. He's about to be a superstar. And we've been saying that for the past 2 or 3 years.
2 years.
And now you have Jaylen Brown coming up. So now it's like, well, whose team is it? Whose team's going to be? Because now the soon coming superstar that Jason Tatum was supposed to be is looking like it's Jaylen Brown. And then you have Kemba Walker somewhere in the middle.
Right. So, no, I agree. I agree. I think
to throw Victor Oladipo into that is like, this can get messy. True. So I don't know, but it'll be interesting to watch.
I'm done with Boston.
Sure. Yeah, I agree. We're not
too much front court power for them to underachieve the way they do.
We should do the last 2 years. We had our shot the last 2 years, but after that, now so
I think Boston got a lot to figure out. I think they just, and I don't think that it's a superstar thing. I think
the problem is a superstar. Jason Tatum. The problem is Jason Tatum doesn't know how to play off the ball.
That part too. Yeah.
And I think that's the number one problem. You don't go get Kemba Walker and then turn him into a point forward. Why?
Yeah. Yeah. But that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Like they have coaching. They have some roster
too many roles.
Yeah.
And then Marcus Smart's not even in the fold. He should have. It's a whole
they got. It's a mess over there. Devin Booker is going to replace Anthony Davis in the All-Star game. We know about that. He deserved it. He should have been in the first place. The dunk contest participants kind of been announced. So I heard last week that they were announced, and then I went on the NBA's website to look at the official dunk contest participants, and they have TBD on there. So it seems like they don't really know. There's this unofficial list of nobodies, pretty much. Like, not to shade them, but Anthony Simmons from Portland is one. Cassius Stanley from the Pacers is the other one, and Obi Toppin, exactly. Obi Toppin from the Knicks. So is the other alleged participant. And that's it, and that's all. Like, the dunk contest is officially dead, yo.
No, can I just to that point though? You know what I would love to see them do, and I think even for the 3-point contest, like, I think there should be a level of community outlet and philanthropy that I think would be dope for the NBA if they had a component where they had an open pool and casting for actual candidates.
I said this years ago. They should open this up. I've seen dunkers dunk on the street that would light the dunk contest.
Yeah, like I've seen some crazy people. Like, I think that would be dope.
That's a great idea, but for me, it's kind of like a part of a legacy a little bit, like Jordan, Dominique.
It's dead. It's gone. You know what I'm saying? They're not doing it. Even Zion, they were asking Zion, is he going to participate? And Zion is like, I don't know.
But see, here's my issue. How does a conglomerate like the NBA not be able to entice? You know what I'm saying?
Because it's not cool no more.
It's not, Joe. It's not cool.
It's not cool no more. It's not the NBA's fault. It started with the superstars and the players. It started with the LeBron era and the superstars. It's not cool no more. And so it's cooler to be on the sideline than to be watching on your phone.
Right. And on Instagram Live. Exactly.
Yes.
If I'm the NBA, I'm looking for that guy, that signature guy, to ride this thing. You know what I'm saying? I've seen
it. It should be Zion.
And you know what? And if I'm the NBA, I'm going to him and saying, listen, we got XYZ for you.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you do. And launch a whole campaign. I'm talking about bring back guys. Vince Carter's on a commercial. Dominique, Jordan, bring. Vince Carter had the idea. I'm bringing it back.
Yes.
And he decided to be in it. Nobody was in it until he decided. So Tracy McGrady, Steve Francis, Larry Hughes, they all got in and said, like, yeah, you know what? We do need to bring this back.
Right, but real quick, but led to that point, though, you got to also understand, though, too, the way they did Aaron Gordon, that's what made it like, all right,
yeah, that was whack. That was whack. Really,
that he came like whack. He was what he, to your exact analogy, he was that Vince Carter effect. Like, you know what? All right, I'll take last year on the chin. Cool. He came back this year, competed, did his thing, and then it's like, I'm not saying that old boy D was D Jones who got it from Miami.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't saying that his stuff wasn't dope, but the way Dwayne clipped him, it was just like, it really diffused the whole dunk element. Yeah. So now it's just like,
but to your point, Lynn, if the dunk contest was where it was supposed to be, Aaron Gordon really wouldn't even have a place in the dunk contest, because it would be LeBron James versus Kevin Durant versus, like, it would be the stars of the league in the dunk contest. And it's not, I think it's a culture thing. Like the culture of the player culture of the NBA now is like, I'd rather sit here and videotape this than be in it. And so now it's trickled down to the young players. Zion is 20 years old. Why are you too cool for the dunk contest?
It's just too much of a business, though.
You're great. Like, how are you too cool for it?
Dude, well, how y'all feel about this idea, right? What about telling owners, like, yo, if you can convince certain players, maybe some kind of draft incentive?
That's not a bad idea.
Oh no, yeah, but then I think at that point it gets like, I think they figure out, hey, yo, listen, we like. Players should, like, they're still, like, I guess they look at it like players should still want to be pride in being the dunk champion.
Yeah.
Like the same way the 3-point champion. It's like, they don't, like, why should we incentivize you? Like, when people that actually took pride in it, like, think about it right now. Even if we said we can't even name the top 3 dunkers we would even put in the dunk contest right now. Like right now. Outside of Zion, name 2 other people. That's what I'm saying. It took too long. So like I'm saying, it's taking too long to think about it. That's what I'm saying. Now, if we went back 10 years ago, you can shoot, you can go from the Vinces to Tracy to Steve Francis. Like, you can just really start to spew it off, because dunking was a thing. It was just like, it was cool. But I can't even think of that show game dunker. Like,
I'm thinking about the young boy who went viral last week when he murdered the one. Who was it?
From Minnesota. Yeah, the youngin from Minnesota. Yeah, that was ugly.
But see, I think one of the factors into that, though, is more of a perimeter game right now. You know what I'm saying?
True. Very true.
The reason why you knew about Tracy McGrady, Steve Francis, because
they was destroying people in games.
They destroyed
literally.
Everybody just
Jason Richardson and
everybody, everybody that was doing it.
Everybody was catching bodies.
Contest to come back. I just think the NBA, if they really focused on launching a campaign, you gotta have, like, Vince Carter should be the face of that.
But to your point, it got to be the campaign that starts in the league first. Like, you don't got to convince us to watch. You got to convince them to play it. You got to convince them to be in it, and then the viewers will come. Like, I agree, it should be a campaign, but it has to. You have to convince your players that it's cool again.
You know what idea I liked? Back when the UFC first started. Well, not first started. When they first got their reality show on Spike TV.
Yeah.
The way they did it was genius. The 2 captains were champions. Team Chuck Liddell versus Tito Ortiz. You know what I'm saying? Well, I feel like if the NBA were to go to, all right, listen, Dominique Wilkins. Oh, you know what? Yeah, Dominique Wilkins. I'll say that. Jordan.
But that's how they revived the All-Star game.
Exactly, and grab your own champion. Listen, you get him, he's going to be Team Vince Carter. You know what I'm saying? You speak to him directly, and he's going to represent. If they did something like that, if these players were more honored, like, all right, listen, he's asking me to dunk on his behalf.
Yeah. They definitely can do it, because they revived the same way we talking about how the dunk contest is dead. I don't know if it wasn't that long ago that people were saying All-Star Sunday is dead. Like, you know what I'm saying? And they revived it. They had to move some stuff around. But they revived it. So if any league can do it, the NBA can do it. But they can do it. They gotta figure it out. Last but not least, Jason Terry was talking, speaking of getting dunked on and dunk contests, he was talking about the epic dunk heard around the world of LeBron James dunking on him that fateful day that it happened. And the video clip is hilarious. So here it is.
Was it a fast break? It was a fast break, but what happened was I was coming down. I turned the ball over. Okay. So it's just instinct for me when you turn it over, I got to get it back. I got Chalmers coming at me, and then LeBron's coming down the middle. Took my eye off LeBron for 1 second, chased Chalmers, turned back around, and he was already in the air, like in slow motion. If what made me jump is what I'm trying to figure out, there's no like even if you did jump, you're not gonna touch that, man. You ain't touching that. Oh, I didn't hop up quick. I laid there for a minute, and I think that's the picture, the meme that's out. Like I'm laying there with my arms folded, like we in the funeral, man.
I can't front, bro. I was one of those people on social media just dying laughing at this moment.
They even said in Wikipedia, they said that was my death date, and they had the date and everything on there. That's crazy, man.
That was one of the most epic dunks ever, and Jason told the story like nobody could tell it. And
you know what though? But being thorough enough to even laugh about it, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because
how can you not though? Like, how can you not like you? I mean, I'm like LeBron James statured you. Like, you can't like, technically that wasn't even my assignment. I didn't get back fast enough. Nah.
But some dudes would. I think some dudes in today's NBA would definitely be like, it was an offensive foul for real. And LeBron just keep getting away with the calls. Like,
you talking to one? Yeah, I beat him in the championship though. Did he talk about that? I feel something.
We won the game though. We won that game.
Yeah, but we won. But we beat him. You see how we beat him in 0-1. So
right.
Listen, the same thing Jordan did when AI cracked me. What did he say? Yeah, but we won.
Yeah,
I got him next play. Yeah, I got him next play.
No, bro, he
cracked you. We won. Yeah, but he ain't thorough enough to talk about it. So to the jet.
It is what it is. And that's why he's the second greatest player ever. Kirjuan Freeman, thank you so much for joining the show today. Tell the people where they can follow and support anything that you got going on in the near future.
Absolutely, man. Definitely, man. The free show. Definitely check me out. Instagram, pretty much anything on all social media platforms. That's really kind of where I'm living, doing a lot of cool things. If you ever been in Boston City, definitely come check out our marvelous Barber Lounge experience that we got here in the city, doing some great things for men, and not even importantly just a culture thing, but more importantly, it's just, the whole wellness, newness of what we're coming into this climate, man. So that's just kind of some of the ventures I've been tied to. And outside of me and my guys and my team and everything we're doing and they're doing, just stay updated for the stories, man. Check me out.
Yes, sir.
Period. Where can the people follow you at, Len?
Len, right, I ain't realize on there. Len_architect on Instagram, man. Listen, everybody be on the lookout for Archduke Gaming.
Y'all got a truck. Archduke Gaming has a truck on the way.
Coming out, man. Listen, man, we just to give like a little tidbit, we're looking to sponsor our first e-athlete too. So in the Call of Duty League. So so we in some communication with that, So the Lord has been like really doing some stuff, man. Like so be on the lookout, man.
That's dope. Where can they follow the gaming company?
So we're
on Twitch and all that and everything.
Well, see, that's what we had to because we're talking about sponsorships. We had to kind of restructure our whole infrastructure now. So it's so y'all know way more than I ever did, but it's amazing how possessive like naming platforms.
Yes.
It's amazing. We was like, hey, we're going to be called this. Like, we'll slow down.
No, you're going to be called Old Spice Gaming if you want this money.
Right. Exactly. Logo. Wait a minute. Don't put any logos on anything yet. So Joe, you're going to be the first to know anyway. And then as soon as we're looking to hear something by at least April.
Okay, dope. Yeah, the gaming thing is big. It's real big, and I'm still learning about it as I go. It just reminds me of that I'm not as young as I think I am.
I'm telling you, having kids, bro, having a son, I had no clue.
I agree.
For sure. So, shout out to Duke. I'm at Joe Connor 33 on everything. Make sure that you turn on your notifications and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you for continuing to share, like, and follow us on the other streaming platforms. If you haven't, go to your streaming platform and hit the follow button. You might listen, but it helps us in all the analytics and all the other stuff if you go and hit the follow button, as well as listen and drop us a couple comments and let us know that you're there. My Splice pack is out on Splice. It's the Philly Lo-Fi pack. I've been getting some good feedback about it. So thank you for that. And just let me know if you haven't heard it, go check it out and let me know what you think. Download it, shoot me a message about it. Let me know how you're using the stuff and how you like it. We got some more stuff coming, so that'll be dope. Also have the YouTube page with my fiance, the Joe and Czar YouTube. Go check that out. We just dropped another Married at First Sight review. We did one for Malcolm and Marie, which was the Netflix movie, which was pretty cool. And so we got some more stuff coming, but we're gonna continue with the Married at First Sight stuff for right now, which has been really dope. So check that out if you are a fan of the show or just like talking that type of stuff. Okay. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening.
Wait, bro, wait a minute, man. How come I ain't got no hat?
Oh, we haven't.
He said it's a pilot mode. First bet.
We haven't mass produced
this free. Why we ain't got no hats in that, man?
We haven't.
Guests need the hats, man. Guests need the hats for the packages, Joe. We need the care packages.
We got the hats. Listen, we got the hats coming. We got the hats coming. Of course, y'all will get a hat. But if you are listening and watching and you want some merch that you see that, like Lynn has a shirt, we have a couple shirts too that are in circulation. We will get you one. But we haven't mass produced them yet. What'd you say, Lynn?
I want to buy mine. I want to buy mine.
Okay. They coming. They coming. We haven't fleshed that out yet because even this one that I got on, like I didn't love the stitching on it, so we didn't go with this company.
I mean, you know what I mean?
Because it's small. But if you was here and I showed you, you'd be like, the little stitching. But we'll figure it out. We definitely going.
Give me a hat, man.
We got y'all. Thank y'all for watching. This has been another episode of the Backstage Sports Podcast. Until next time, be safe and be great. Peace.